She is pure speed, unfiltered authenticity, and raw attitude in its most powerful form. Sha'Carri Richardson has become something far greater than just an athlete. She is a cultural phenomenon that transcends track and field. In recent years, she has conquered the world of sports not only with her lightning times, but with an unmistakable style and a personality so magnetic that it becomes impossible to look away. But beyond the sensational headlines and magazine covers, do you really know the woman behind those spectacular nails and that impossibly colored hair? Today we are diving deep into 10 fascinating facts and personal rituals of Sha'Carri Richardson that prove she is not simply another sprinter in the history of athletics. She is a force of nature that is redefining what it means to be a champion in the 21st century. Before we begin this journey through the life of one of the most charismatic athletes on the planet, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our deep dives into the lives of the stars you are most passionate about. Ready to discover who Sha'Carri Richardson really is? Let's go. Chosen carefully by her mother, the name was intended to be as unique as the woman who would bear it through life. Sha'Carri has often shared in interviews that she deeply loves her name because it perfectly captures her identity. Unique, resilient, bold, and completely unapologetic. Her surname, Richardson, is a tribute to her mother's side of the family, the people who stood by her side since her very first race as a child running barefoot in the neighborhood. In the world of sprinting, names like Usain Bolt or Florence Griffith Joyner carry a legendary echo that reverberates through generations. Sha'Carri is now carving her own name into that same Mount Rushmore of speed, ensuring that future generations will speak her name with the same reverence. The sound of her name has become synonymous with fire, passion, and an unbreakable spirit. When you hear Sha'Carri Richardson announced at the starting blocks, you know something special is about to happen. Her name is not just an identifier, it is a declaration of intent, a warning to her competitors, and a promise to her fans that they are about to witness greatness in motion. This is not just a fashion choice or a quirky personal preference. It is a powerful homage to the legendary Florence Griffith Joyner, affectionately known as FloJo, who revolutionized the sport in the late 80s with her extravagant style and world records that still stand today. FloJo showed the world that you could be devastatingly fast and stunningly beautiful at the same time. That femininity and power were not opposing forces, but complementary strengths. Sha'Carri carries that torch with pride, using her long, intricately decorated nails as a form of self-expression, a lucky charm, and yes, a psychological weapon. She carefully selects the colors and designs before every major meet to match her energy and intentions. Sometimes they are adorned with rhinestones that catch the stadium lights. Other times they feature intricate patterns that tell a story only she fully understands. The process of getting her nails done has become a sacred ritual, a moment of meditation and visualization before the storm of competition. When you see those nails gripping the track as she settles into the blocks, you know she is ready for business. They are not a distraction. They are her armor, her statement, her connection to a legacy of women who refuse to choose between excellence and expression. You might be genuinely surprised to learn that one of the fastest women on earth is a passionate anime fan. Sha'Carri is a massive enthusiast of Japanese animation, particularly series like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z. She has mentioned in multiple interviews and social media posts that she deeply identifies with Naruto Uzumaki, the protagonist of Naruto, a character who was constantly underestimated, overlooked, and dismissed by nearly everyone around him, but who worked harder than anyone else to prove his worth and achieve his dreams. Before a big race, it is not uncommon for her to listen to epic anime soundtracks to channel that protagonist energy, that underdog spirit that refuses to accept defeat. She does not just run. She approaches the track with the mindset of a warrior entering a high-stakes battle where only the strongest survive. The themes of perseverance, transformation, and never giving up that run through these anime series resonate deeply with her own life story. She has faced rejection, criticism, and obstacles that would have broken lesser spirits, but like Naruto, she keeps pushing forward, constantly evolving, constantly getting stronger. This connection to anime culture also reveals a softer, more vulnerable side of Sha'Carri that many people do not see in the headlines. It shows that beneath the fierce competitor is a young woman who finds inspiration in stories about dreamers and fighters, who believes in the power of determination and the possibility of transformation. From fiery orange and electric blue to platinum blonde and neon green, Sha'Carri's hair is a constantly evolving canvas of vibrant colors. But for her, this is about so much more than just looking good on camera or creating viral moments on social media. Each color represents a specific emotional state, a particular chapter in her journey, or a message she wants to send to the world. For instance, her famous orange hair during the 2021 Olympic trials was meant to represent fire, passion, and an unstoppable hunger for victory. That particular shade became iconic, plastered across newspapers and screens worldwide. She treats her hair like a visual signal to her competitors and the world. A change in color means a new version of Sha'Carri has arrived, and she is faster, stronger, and more determined than the last one. The ritual of changing her hair is deeply personal and therapeutic. It marks transitions, celebrates victories, and sometimes helps her process defeats. When she walks into a salon and chooses a new color, she is not just making a cosmetic decision. She is shedding an old skin and emerging renewed. This practice of transformation through appearance is her way of maintaining control over her narrative in a world that constantly tries to define her. People may judge her choices, criticize her style, or question her professionalism, but every strand of colored hair is a middle finger to anyone who thinks she needs to conform to their expectations of what a female athlete should look like. Elite performance at the highest levels of sport requires an elite mental state, and Sha'Carri has developed a very specific pre-race ritual to find her focus and enter what athletes call the flow state. First, she meticulously adjusts her hair and nails in the mirror, a moment that serves multiple purposes. It is self-affirmation, a final check that her armor is in place, and a psychological anchor that signals to her brain that it is time to shift into competition mode. Then, you will see her lightly pounding her chest with her fists, a physical action designed to wake up her nervous system and get her adrenaline flowing. This is not random. It is deliberate preparation. Finally, she takes a series of deep, grounding breaths while whispering motivational mantras to herself, words that only she can hear but that carry immense power. These could be affirmations about her speed, reminders of what she has overcome, or dedications to loved ones who have supported her journey. By the time she steps into the blocks and stares down that 100-meter straightaway, she has already won the race in her mind. Her body is simply executing what her spirit has already accomplished. This ritual is sacred to her, and she guards it fiercely. It is the bridge between Sha'Carri the person and Sha'Carri the champion, the moment where vulnerability transforms into invincibility. She is a dedicated fan of rap and hip-hop, citing legends like Lil Wayne and modern icons like Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj as her go-to artists. She uses the heavy beats, confident lyrics, and unapologetic energy of hip-hop to build her sense of invincibility on the track. These artists do not just make music, they create anthems of survival, success, and self-belief, themes that align perfectly with Sha'Carri's own story. If you follow her on social media, you have likely seen her vibrant personality shine through as she dances, raps along to her favorite tracks, and shares moments of pure joy with her fans. This proves she is just as much a fan of the culture as she is an icon within it. Hip-hop culture, with its emphasis on authenticity, hustle, and rising from nothing to become something, mirrors her journey from a young girl in Dallas with big dreams to a global superstar. The connection runs deep. It is not performative. It is genuine. When she puts on her headphones before a race and lets that bass hit her chest, she is tapping into generations of Black excellence, resilience, and creativity. She is known for saying exactly what she feels, whether it is in a post-race interview, a tweet, or a confrontation with critics. While her directness has occasionally sparked controversy and drawn criticism from traditionalists who believe athletes should be seen and not heard, it has also made her a hero to millions who value honesty over politeness. She does not hide behind a carefully constructed mask or pretend to be someone she is not. She stands firmly by her words, whether she is defending her community, discussing social justice issues, calling out hypocrisy in sports governance, or responding directly to her haters. This authenticity comes with a price. She has been called difficult, unprofessional, and too emotional by people who would prefer she smile, stay quiet, and just run. But Sha'Carri refuses to play that game. She understands that her voice, her truth, and her willingness to be vulnerable in public are just as important as her times on the track. For young people, especially young Black women who rarely see themselves fully represented in mainstream sports media, Sha'Carri's authenticity is revolutionary. She shows them that they do not have to shrink themselves, code switch, or apologize for taking up space. Sha'Carri's journey has not been without its devastating hurdles, and perhaps the most publicly painful was in 2021 when she faced a highly publicized suspension that kept her out of the Tokyo Olympics. During that incredibly difficult time, she bravely opened up about using cannabis to cope with the sudden, traumatic loss of her biological mother, a loss that came just as she was preparing for the biggest competition of her life. Instead of retreating into silence or hiding behind excuses, she became a vocal advocate for mental health, pushing for more compassion, understanding, and psychological support for athletes at all levels. She showed the world that even the strongest people, even champions who appear invincible, need help sometimes, and that true strength is not pretending to be fine when you are breaking inside. True strength is being honest about your struggles and asking for support. Her willingness to discuss mental health openly has helped destigmatize these conversations in sports, a world that traditionally celebrates toughness and views emotional vulnerability as weakness. Sha'Carri's message is clear. Athletes are human beings first, and their mental well-being should never be sacrificed on the altar of performance and entertainment. The secret weapon in Sha'Carri's life is not a coach, a training regimen, or a supplement. It is her grandmother, Betty Harp. Raised primarily by Betty from a young age, Sha'Carri credits this remarkable woman for the discipline, the resilience, and the never-back-down attitude she carries onto the track today. Betty provided stability, love, and structure when Sha'Carri needed it most, stepping into a parental role and ensuring that her granddaughter had the foundation to chase her dreams. Every major victory, every record, every moment of glory is dedicated to the woman who raised her, the woman who believed in her when others doubted, the woman who sacrificed so much to give her opportunities. Sha'Carri often speaks about her grandmother with a tenderness that contrasts beautifully with her fierce public persona, revealing the deep well of gratitude and love that fuels her ambition. Betty Harp represents more than family. She represents the countless Black women who hold families together, who raise champions, who pour everything they have into the next generation. Sha'Carri runs not just for herself, but for Betty, for her legacy, for the love that shaped her into who she is today. At just 24 years old, with her entire prime still ahead of her, her sights are set firmly on the ultimate prize, becoming the fastest woman in history. She is constantly chasing the legendary records of the past, times that have stood for decades, marks that seemed untouchable. With her current trajectory, her improving technique, and her relentless drive, many experts believe it is not a matter of if, but when she will shatter those barriers. She is not just running for medals anymore. She is running for immortality, for a place in history that can never be erased, for the kind of legacy that transcends generations. Every training session, every sacrifice, every moment of pain is an investment in that ultimate goal. Sha'Carri knows that records are meant to be broken, and she intends to set new ones that will stand as monuments to her greatness long after she retires. So which of these facts about Sha'Carri Richardson surprised you the most? Are you a fan of her Naruto mindset or her iconic style? Let us know in the comments below. Do not forget to subscribe for more stories about the world's most fascinating athletes and cultural icons. See you in the next one.